Don't let Democrats do to America what they have done to New York.
A dire warning from former Mayor Rudy Giuliani about electing Joe Biden and Democrats this November, echoed by Police Benevolent Association Union Chief Pat Lynch. The rank-and-file NYPD union endorsed President Trump.
Democratic politicians have surrendered our streets and our institutions.
Shootings and murders have spiked in the city since June, mirroring criminal justice protests in the wake of the killing of George Floyd. Those protests have occasionally been overtaken by riots. But New York City authorities have pointed to courts not functioning properly because of COVID and pent-up frustration from people being indoors in general. Mayor de Blasio says on WNYC today the situation is improving with gun arrests up.
A lot is moving in the right direction, but it can't fully resolve until our society is back to something more normal, our court system's working.
But Giuliani, Lynch, and President Trump made the case the crime wave comes down to reduced funding for police and several pieces of legislation aimed to hold police more accountable.
Our hands are tied. If we're going to turn the tide and restore law and order, we cannot fall into the left's trap.
We have to give law enforcement, our police, back their power.
It's worth noting crime levels in New York are still vastly lower than they were during the safest Giuliani years, thanks to 2 decades of falling crime. In New York City, patrol levels have remained the same, even with the budget reductions. The crime is also happening on President Trump's watch, even if it is in cities generally under Democratic leadership. Last night, President Trump once again pushed for federal agents to take to city streets.
Just call. We're ready to go in. We'll take care of your problem in a matter of hours. Just call.
And we've seen mixed results with federal agents in places like Portland and Chicago. They've certainly helped support in the prosecute capacity in investigating shootings and murders. But with protests and riot control, they've often escalated the situation. Also to say it would take about an hour or a couple hours to solve crime waves or quell protests that have followed centuries of racial disparity. That's just not even possible nor accurate. Tamsin and Corey.